everyone, go ahead and admire your own ass for a second. We'll wait. We'll wait. Ash and Zach think they're super smart because they went to college and I guess learned a bunch of stuff. And Beau and Andrew didn't go to college because we didn't want to. Fuck, whatever. What happens when you put them together and chaos will ensure? Use your let's all together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast.
Welcome to Get Dumped On, the Info Dump podcast. You are joined here with me, Justin, the founder, creator, and brainchild behind the entire podcast. I'm here with my co-hosts, Ash.
Hello.
Zach.
Hi.
And Beau.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
You'll notice a distinct lack of Andrew this episode due to the fact that he is a big sicky boy. But
he's dead. I think he died.
Yeah, no, he actually died. I actually don't fully know what's going on this episode. I was only informed about this about 2 hours ago. So someone with more competence, please take it away.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure we were all on the same page getting ready for this episode. We're trying out the micro mini dump format, not micro mini dump, multi micro dump. What the hell did we call it?
Micro dumping, like micro dosing, but like.
Yeah,
it's like like when you take a poop and it's all pebbles. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like a rabbit turd dump.
Yeah.
Doing a little rabbit turd dump this episode.
If you ever find Cocoa Puffs in the forest, don't eat them.
Unless you're gambling, man.
So we're experimenting with a new format that we're calling the multi-micro dump, where instead of one person hosting an entire episode's worth of a dump, we're each bringing a micro dump relating to a certain topic. So, Justin, did you prepare? Did you end up preparing anything? I was kind of vague on as to whether or not you should have something prepared.
Yeah, no, I did actually. This worked out really well because I had an idea after the last one of something I wanted to bring up on an episode, but it didn't. There wasn't enough information for it to constitute an entire episode, so this actually works out perfectly. So if you want me to start, I can go ahead and do so.
No. I want you to go last.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Shit rolls downhill. So.
Right. So we prepared ours based on weird stuff about the human body. What is yours? Does yours fall under that umbrella?
Was it weird stuff or just fun facts about human body?
Just fun facts,
okay.
I guess.
Well, you said pretty much. Can you talk about anything put together in the next 2 hours? So no, it really doesn't.
Okay, that's fine. You go. We'll just have you go last.
Okay. It's just gonna be abstractly fucking different then.
Yeah, it'll be great. Or you can go in the middle. We'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear. Listener, you're in for a ride.
Shit sandwich.
Let's go. Let's party. I kind of think that maybe I should go first. I have two facts, the second of which is kind of funny, but also kind of a bummer. So I don't want my bummer to be last before Justin's.
You go ahead and go.
So,
hit it, Zach.
What'd you say?
Hit it, Zach.
Okay, I'll hit it. So mine was... so I just wanted to talk... and I have no idea how long this is actually going to go, but you know me, it'll go for
Classic
the entire
Zach.
episode based on two things. I wanted to talk about some weird genetic conditions that I have heard about. I have two in mind. And the first one is one that I've kind of been fascinated with since we went to the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia like 6 years ago. How many years ago? 2017?
That was 6.
6 years ago.
20 years ago. Zach is old.
300 years ago.
And I've got a long white beard. There's actually some drama going around with the Mutter Museum's.
Oh, you got some tea? Spill some tea with the.
Well, I have no idea what I don't know what the full situation is, but like the new management has
racist
has changed things. And it is a little racist in that it turns out that they had unrepatriated Native American remains, which is in violation of NAGPRA.
Because they were nagging for it back.
The 1990 Native American Grave Protection and Repatriation Act. But then I think that what happens is that they overcorrected and took down a lot of their educational material from their website because it's all related. It's a surgical It's at the Surgeons College, I think, in Philadelphia, and it's a museum of medical oddities. And so not only is it like a museum for goths and weirdos, but it's also a museum for people who like study the variability of the human body, the deformations and weird things that can happen. And so they've taken down a lot of their material from online because all of it's related to human remains. So they're just like wipe the whole thing. And people are pretty annoyed about it. That's my understanding of the situation. I might be completely wrong, and if I am, I apologize, but I think I'm not completely wrong. Either way, this is inspired by a skeleton that we saw that was there. And this was of a man who had a disease called fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva.
Can I say something while you pause right there? It was so funny listening to you talk about Native American remains and everything like that as I'm watching. I'm not going to little backstory of what I'm doing right now. I'm also watching football, just a FYI. It's on very low. But while Zach's all explaining that, they're singing the national anthem. So I'm hearing Zach talk about these Native American remains, and all I hear is, "Oh, say can you see?"
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
What's more American than dead indigenous?
Oh, jeez.
And not respecting their wishes.
Yep.
Yeah, for realsies. It's also called Munchmeyer disease. All right. Wild speculation time. What do you guys think fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva does to your body?
Fibrodysplasia ossification?
Ossificans progressiva.
So it's a progressive disease that displaces your fibro and makes it ossify.
Ossify, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a teamwork right there.
Okay.
That's a teamwork guess.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
we're right.
All right, give it to me in plain English then. What do you think it does?
That's how you tickle.
That's
how you feel ticklish.
The bones grow weird.
Yes, exactly. You're so good at this, Justin.
Look, my wife has been watching
dead.
Grey's Anatomy for the past
And
3
Bones.
weeks. I'm actually at like the height of my medical guesswork at that.
Because there's
So-
nothing more reliable for medical knowledge than Grey's Anatomy.
Right, but that's better than my regular baseline of like, I don't have any fucking clue what those words mean.
Hey, sometimes TV can help out a lot. You made the test I've actually passed or got. Well, I wouldn't say pass. Help me get a higher grade because of the Simpsons. A lot.
I learned history from Assassin's Creed. I mean, you can get shit.
Yeah. So basically, it's an extremely rare disease where the mechanism by which your muscles repair damage is fucked up. And so instead of repairing it with more muscle, it repairs it with bones. And because your muscles are pretty much constantly tearing, it effectively means that your muscles are slowly but constantly being replaced by bone.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Real bad.
It's
Real bad
called
for your
like
body
stony.
and your life.
Yeah, very, very bad for everything.
Well, if you can focus it right, you could have bone armor. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
That's true, but in reality, people don't have any control over it. It tends to like go faster as you get older, and people with it usually die around to their like the time they turn 40. It can be treated. Well, it can't be treated, but the symptoms can be like mitigated with. I forgot to write down exactly what they can use. There's no real cure or treatment. There's just like there's some sort of like steroid or cortisol thing that you can use to like slow it down, but it doesn't really treat it or cure it in any way. It's a gene mutation. It's an autosomal dominant gene, which means that if one of your parents has the gene, you'll have it. But it does mean there's a very rare chance that if both of your parents are heterozygous, then you could not have it. Although, if you have this disease, would you even be able to make kids? I don't know.
I have this disease. I've made 3 kids. I've lost one, unfortunately. I don't know where I put him. That's all. I don't know where I put him. I didn't. I was like, oh no, where's this kid? And we just gave up. So what we did was we just made a new one. We misplaced it, so we replaced it.
Presumably, they're still alive. They're just not here.
Yeah. They're somewhere. I'm hoping they're living their best life.
Somewhere slowly turning to bone.
So becoming a gargoyle statue, like on like a cathedral or something.
As bonitis.
Ooh,
bonitis.
So basically, this is the only known disease by which an organ turns into a different kind of organ. And the bone that's created is identical to regular bone. So it's really weird. It's a really weird one. It's super weird. And so this can be like become faster. This can happen faster if there's trauma, or else it just kind of is just plodding along at a regular pace until eventually you can't move. And it's horrible.
That's terrible.
It is, at the very least, very rare. There's currently 900 known cases of it. It's estimated that there's probably 4,000 worldwide of just people who haven't been identified with it. I don't know how they determine that. Some sort of genetic extrapolation. But yeah, The skeleton in the Mutter Museum that we saw was of a man named Harry Raymond Eastlack Jr., who died 6 days before his 40th birthday in 1973 of the disease. And his skeleton it looks like somebody just draped a cloth over his like torso, but the cloth is made of bone.
It's absolutely
It's really
wild.
weird, the shape of it.
Whoa.
And actually, Ash, I found out that since we visited, they've added a companion, a second skeleton to right next to him, of a woman named Carol Orzel, who died in 2018 at 58, which is very old for the disease, but it was added in 2019.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so that's just a horrifying thing that can happen to your body.
I'm like horrified that it's just gonna spontaneously happen to me. And I have bones in places where you're not
Right?
supposed to have bones. And let me tell you, fucking sucks. I cannot
bone-
imagine
do
that
you-
over
do
my
you-
whole body.
Do you have an extra bone in your knee too? 'Cause
No, I
below
have
your knee?
extra bones holding my foot bones together.
Oh, well, I can't relate to that.
It's called tarsal
bonus.
coalition.
And it's
Oh.
messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty horrifying.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. So that is fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, also known as FOP or FOP.
My bones feel weird now.
Right? Like after I saw the skeleton in real life, the whole rest of the day I was just like, I could feel my muscles turning into bones.
Yeah. Ugh.
My arms are tingly.
Oh, and the other thing that I learned is that basically this is the sort of symptom that unless you're tested for it, and why would you be? Nobody, it's like you, my voice. Andrew, edit this out or don't.
Keep it.
Andrew, don't. We're doing it live. Don't edit anything out.
My voice.
Basically, until the like major symptoms start presenting, the only like indicator is that it's common for babies with this to be born with an enlarged big toe. And the reason for that is I don't think is not known.
Huh.
Weird.
Are my toes
Yeah.
the normal size? What's a normal size toe? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, so that's horrible. And he basically could not eat solid food after the age of 15. It had to speak through clenched teeth.
Oh my God.
Eh.
Terrible.
Next one that I have is also another horrible thing. But before I start talking about that horrible thing, I want to talk a little bit about naming proteins.
Bill. Sam.
Yeah, this protein is named Bill. Basically,
protein.
Basically a bunch of scientists back in the past, and by the past I mean over the course of the 80s and 90s, were studying proteins that were identified in Drosophila, the fruit flies. Ash, how do you pronounce the fruit flies?
Drosophila. I don't know.
Drosophila fruit
I
flies.
don't know anything about flies.
You know, the classic fruit fly. It's the classic fruit flies that you learn about in bio class when you're talking about genes. And so they were identifying proteins, and they identified a series of spiky proteins. They had spikes on them. So they decided to name all of them after different kinds of hedgehogs. And so there's like the India hedgehog and the desert hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I was gonna say, please tell me. We're all waiting for it.
Yes. And so one of them came home and found a magazine with an advertisement for Sonic the Hedgehog in it and decided to name his protein Sonic Hedgehog. And they named the gene that produces it and controls it SHH. This is the SHH gene produces a protein or controls a protein. Honestly, here's the thing is that I love bio class, and bio is like my favorite science class. But when it comes to everything down to like amino acids and proteins and like protein structures and genetics is the level where I start to get lost. I cannot understand genetics no matter how hard I try. And it feels bad because I feel like understanding genetics is really important to like everything. But I don't get it at all. It's like my brain just glazes over and I'm like, yeah, totally, whatever. And that was why I would always end up having a bad grade at the end of the semester in bio classes, because genetics just escapes me entirely.
For me, it was always like I could regurgitate the information, but it never like really gets in there, you know? I'm like, yeah. It's like the way that a camera works. I'm like, yeah, sure. It reflects light or whatever, but I don't know.
It's the whole imprinting a record thing. It's just fucking magic, and that's the best that someone like us can understand.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it is. It's biomancy.
Biomancy.
So the important thing to know here is that there is a protein in our bodies that is called Sonic Hedgehog. It is produced by a gene called SHH. So after this protein was identified...
God, it's incredible that Sega doesn't try to copyright each and every one of our fucking genomes.
I want to go fast. I want to go fast. Gotta go fast.
That's why we want to go so fast.
Yeah, every time you're in a car and you get the urge to step on the pedal a little bit harder, that's the Sonic Hedgehog gene.
Anytime you see a bunch of rings on the ground and you got to zoom to pick them up.
Anytime you feel like curling into a ball and rolling into a bunch of robots.
So that's why every morning I wake up and I have the Green Hill Zone theme stuck in my head.
That's why the only thing I ever want to eat is chili dogs.
That's why my favorite movie of all time is Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yes, Electric Hogaloo.
Hogaloo.
Hedge electric. Well, there we go.
That is all very fucking neat. And now I'm happy to know that I have a little Sonic inside of me.
Yes. So this was all identified and studied, and basically the name was given to it before it was determined what the protein does.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
So it turns out that the Sonic Hedgehog protein is actually extremely important in the formation of some pretty critical structures in the body. And if the SHH gene has any abnormalities, then the Sonic Hedgehog protein won't do its job correctly. And if it doesn't do its job correctly, there can be a lot of really bad things that can happen. And one of them is called diprosopis. Do you have any idea what diprosopis is?
Something with
two prolapses simultaneously.
No, it's worse.
Is it that one where you get like a mirrored images of stuff where it's not supposed to be?
Sort of. You're on the right track. What if I gave you another name for it? Craniofacial duplication.
You got two faces?
That's some fucking Cronenberg stuff right there.
Yeah, it basically is you have two faces. It'll be a baby born with two faces on one head. Oftentimes you see them, it'll kind of be like, it's kind of similar to when you have those like image goofing filters where there's like a mirror halfway down the picture, and so you can like do a silly thing where you've got like your mouth, like you got two mouths, but like you got one eye and then an eye on either side, because like your faces are have partially two heads, but you've got like three eyes. And I would recommend that you don't Google pictures of it unless you're really curious, because I'm good. Ooh, it's rough to look at, and I feel a little bad for like actually like bringing it up like on the podcast, because it's a super big bummer. But essentially babies who have this are usually stillborn, if they even make it to term at all. There have been a couple that have been born and have actually survived a couple of months, but they're extremely rare. And I think the oldest one was like 6 months old.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
That's awful.
But now can you just imagine the fact that a doctor can say your child will not survive to term because it has this craniofacial duplication, and they say, how does that happen? What could cause this? And the doctor says,
the fucking Sonic the Hedgehog
gene. Is this
Hedgehog
doctor named
gene.
Dr. Eggman?
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Could you imagine if it is? Please tell me it is. Even if it's not, lie to me, please.
God.
Doctor, how could this happen? Well, you see, Sonic was very angry.
Oh, God. It's the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, no.
That's terrible.
That's so bad.
Yeah,
I feel bad for laughing, but...
So there is one that lived at least 2 years, actually. There was a Spanish baby born in 1775 with 3 eyes, 2 noses, 2 mouths, and 3 chins, and was taken on tour from village to village.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh, that poor baby.
And her full lifespan is unknown, but was mentioned to be still alive in French publications as late as 1777. Yeah, so...
Well, now that I'm depressed...
It also happens in animals sometimes. Like cows born with this are a pretty common sight at like Ripley's Believe It or Not, you know?
I have actually seen that.
And it's all thanks to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Fucking Sonic.
Sonic the Hedge. There we go. All right. That's all I got.
Thanks for bumming
Take it
us
away,
out.
whoever wants to go next. Well, yeah. So now the bum out is here so that somebody else can bring the energy back up.
Based on that nervous chuckle, I'm going to guess that it's not Ash.
I mean, my stuff that I have, I think it's fun, but it's mostly bone related.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay.
Back to the bones, baby.
It's just fun things about bones.
We're going to Bone
Going to
Town.
Bone Town.
Oh, population.
Bring me to the bone zone.
Population
Beau.
Beau.
Beau, the Bone Town Beau.
The mayor of Bone Town. It's Beau. Do you know how many bones we have in our bodies?
725.
206?
206. That's right. Now, do you know how many bones
Mr.
a
College
baby
degree.
has?
234?
Newborns can have more than 300 distinct bones.
Wow.
You're born with more bones than you die.
Isn't the skull in like 5 different pieces when you're
way
first
more
born?
than 5.
Oh, more than 5? Okay.
The skull ossifies as 44 separate elements.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you're a baby, where your bones are going to be gets laid out first in cartilage. Your body lays out cartilage first, and then ossification centers happen, and your bones can ossify in more than one point, especially long bones. So like your humerus and your upper arm and your femur and your leg, they start as 2 or 3 ossification points. So when you're born, a lot of your bones aren't full bones. They're just little pieces of bones that grow together as you grow older.
They're like the first evolution of bones.
Long before they ever start hurting for no fucking reason.
Yeah. And that's why we're able to walk upright and still give birth, because little babies are just little sacks of cartilage and they can just squeeze on through there.
Just blood bags of muscle and bone.
Just all in a skin bag.
You know, I think I'm going to wait till after my wife is done giving birth to have her listen to this podcast.
When
Or maybe it'll help induce labor. There you go.
when my
You're
sister
welcome.
was pregnant, she would, tell me about how she was coming along, and the only thing I could think of was how many bones that baby had all up in there. It's like, oh.
Not about your niece or nephew, just the bones.
Just the bones. Oh, well, do you want to talk about the teeth?
Yeah,
Beau's
I have
teeth?
Talk about my teeth.
No, baby teeth.
I had baby teeth.
Have you
Well,
ever
like, you
seen
just got
an
baby
x-ray
teeth.
of a baby who still has their baby teeth, who doesn't have their adult teeth yet? Like a toddler?
No, I usually don't casually Google that. So
Yeah, it's horrifying because your adult teeth come inside of your skull before they push out of your gums.
I've actually seen that on X-rays of my own head.
Anatomy?
No, my own fucking head, because I had a horrible dental hygiene habits as a child, and also very shitty teeth just in general. So between all of that, I had a couple X-rays, and I've seen what the teeth look like behind, and it's really fucking weird.
Yeah, so all up in your maxilla, like if you see a toddler running around, all up in their maxilla, all down in their jawbone, they have their full set of adult teeth growing inside of their face.
It's like a shark.
Oh,
Just a
my
head
God.
full of teeth. And it's weird. And that's why, like, it can be really dangerous. I mean, apart from the fact that it would be an injury, but if your small baby gets like a facial injury, it can affect how their upper teeth come in because they're in there. So if they get damaged
Oh my
somehow,
God.
it could really mess up like how their actual adult teeth come in.
Oh, I've never considered that.
Oh.
ugh, poor
Yeah.
baby teeth.
Yeah. Do you know your first bone that ossifies in your body?
Penis. I mean, no, I don't know.
Actually, it's really funny, Beau, because humans are one of the very few mammals that don't have a penis bone.
It's true.
It's called a baculum, and a lot of mammals have penis bones.
Scott back.
I'm gonna guess that the first one that ossifies is the skull itself.
I'm gonna say
Need
fingernails.
to protect the brain.
I should know this, but I don't. And I'm going to say the
spine. I'm going spine. That's my real
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I think spine.
The first bone that starts to ossify in your body in utero is the clavicle, your collarbone.
Oh, I also
So
would like to
random.
let all of the pedants who are listening to this, I know that the spine is not one bone. I was talking about the spine as a structure.
Yeah, so
Get the
tell
fuck-
Vertebrae.
Justin, tell your
out of me.
mom not to email us. We know. All right.
Has she been sending
then-
fact-checking emails?
No, I don't
No,
think
we
so.
haven't gotten many fact checks.
And then, so as you grow, you're born with
Hi,
300
Mom.
bones. Hey, Justin's mom. You're born with 300 bones, and then as you grow, they fuse together, thus creating the 206 bones that we all know and love today. Although some people have more than 206 bones. You can get things called sesamoid bones, which are little bones that will grow inside of your like muscles and tendons, and they're just like little free floating bones. Sometimes they're asymptomatic, sometimes they cause pain, sometimes they don't. Like, it's just really random what happens in there. But everyone does have at least 2 sesamoid bones that we all have. And that is your kneecaps that are just kind of held in place there by your muscles and just kind of hang out. Do you guys know the last of your bones that fuses?
Spine.
I know. Wait, do I know this? This is all information that I always rely on being able to look up in a book.
Your pelvic. Your
because
pelvic
I'm pretty
bone.
sure
I'm going
that-
pelvic. Go pelvic. Show me pelvic.
It's your
Yeah, I was gonna say the ass bone, so I'm gonna go with pelvic.
it's the caps on your femurs, right?
All wonderful guesses, but the answer is the clavicle.
Oh my god.
Fucking clavicle.
It's the first bone to start
really takes its
ossifying.
fucking time.
First-
And
in,
it's the
last
last
out.
bone to fuse. Yeah, so if you know anyone who's under the age of like 25, their clavicle is still unfused at the ends.
Huh.
Call him a shitty wiggly clavicle ass bitch.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah, I bet your clavicle isn't fused either. Fucking nerd.
Yeah.
you
Go up
fucking
to some-
Little
nerd.
baby
Go
clavicle.
find some
Yeah,
Gen Z nonsense person, be like, you got soft clavicles, idiot.
Get clavicled.
Yeah.
My
Clavicle.
clavicle's strong.
Oh, so
Yeah, I may be old, but at least I have a fully fused
All of my
clavicle.
other
Wiggle
joints
clavicle,
hurt,
boy.
but my
Oh,
clavicle's
wiggle,
fully
wiggle clavicle.
fused.
And your hands and feet have over half of the bones in your body, which is fun.
It's a lot of bones.
That's pretty neat.
And whales have hands.
Yeah. Inside their
Yeah.
flippers.
Speaking of which, you ever see an X-ray of a camel? They just
Yeah.
have 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Well, they're two-toed
They're-
ungulates, right?
Right, but like
Mhm.
you know, it's so much like a horse that you don't expect it. It's 2 little fingers.
Yeah, horses are technically standing on their tippy toes.
Yeah, they're nails.
Yeah.
Yep.
Horse
And
anatomy is
that's-
really messed up.
Welcome to the body
Yeah, horse
horror
anatomy is
episode,
fucked
everybody.
up.
Just put a fucking trigger warning in the description for this one.
Oh my god, have you ever seen I don't remember, I stumbled across it on the internet once, and this is another thing that I
Porn.
really recommend
Oh.
not googling is what it looks like underneath the horse hoof.
Oh, it's bad.
Like
God,
if you remove
no,
all the
why?
hoof structure.
And have you ever seen a freshly born baby horse's hoof?
Yes.
No, again, I'm not
Actually.
really looking for those, but
It's messed up. They got like weird little tentacles on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
ew.
Yeah, it's gross.
So that the hoofs don't scratch up the birth canal. It's kind of like ambergris, but for horse hooves.
And
We're really good for some pasta right now.
It's a callback.
Going back to human bones, my last fun fact about bones is one that I always like to tell people because most people think that it's gross. Your bones are wet all the time, not only on the outside, but on the inside.
We were just talking about that last night.
Because everybody's used to seeing dry as a bone. I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
a saying that we have. But when your bone's inside your body, it's wet. It's wet on the
It's
outside
wet.
and it's wet on the inside.
My bones wet on the inside.
Because
bones
your
wet on
bones
the
are making
outside.
blood.
Your bone marrow makes your blood.
And you can make money off it too.
Have you guys ever heard of a condition called vasovagal syncope?
No, but that sounds fun
Bless
to say. Vasovagal sympathy.
No.
Sympathy?
Is that the is that the
Syncope.
one where like
Syncope.
your nerve, that nerve that's like going down
nerve
your
of you.
sternum gets all goofed up and you faint or something like that?
Yeah, it causes you to faint.
Veni vidi vici.
Vini vidi vici. It's a
Oh, it's an Italian
condition
nerve.
where it's like an overreaction of your body to certain external triggers. and it causes your heart rate and your blood pressure to drop suddenly, and then usually you faint. But some people have defecation syncope.
Wait, so we're talking about like fainting goats, you know, like where you scare them and people just faint. But in this case, it's people who shit when you scare them.
Defecation syncope is that when you take a real strenuous poop, you can faint.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh my
It's
God.
like,
For anyone listening that has this, I am
kinda-
so sorry, but that's kind of fucking hilarious.
Is it weird that I kind of want to experience that? Like, I don't know why. I'm just like pushing, struggling. I'm sweating. It's hot. It's a hot bathroom too. At that point, I'm sweating, sliding off that toilet, pushing it, and next thing you know, I finally get it out. It's like then you hear boom. I passed out because I fell.
Pants around your
Jesus
ankles,
Christ.
laying on the ground. So that's always fun. I heard about that once, and it's funny to think about someone passing out when they poop. Somebody in, I think it's Hong Kong, claims that they had constipation so bad that it gave them amnesia.
That's how Elvis died.
Well, I mean, the drugs didn't help with that either.
Yeah, I feel like Elvis died of like a massive coronary heart attack from all of the fried peanut butter, banana, bacon sandwiches.
And cocaine.
Yeah.
Just happened to be while he was taking a shit, you know, like.
And
And also, if I
cocaine
recall correctly,
sandwiches.
he was massively constipated from all of the abuse, the prescriction drugs that he
Opioids
was
will do that
being
to you.
given.
Oh, the boy was
Yeah.
backed up.
He was
Yeah,
a
the
little
boy was
bricked
backed
up.
up. That's not what bricked up means, and it's important to me that you don't use it.
Oh my god! Could you imagine dying bricked up? That's not a way to go. How'd he die? Bricked
He
up.
was bricked up.
when he passed out, when he died, when he passed out, his body was just hanging there balanced. It was wild.
Oh no.
But constipation in the elderly is linked to cognitive decline. So keep regular, folks.
Remember to shit often.
Yes.
I do have two little interesting anecdote facts that is actually body related. So I recently learned that the liver is the only organ that will regenerate itself,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
which is kind of fucking weird. So you can donate a piece of your organ, your liver, and it will grow back.
This liver right here is working double time all the time. Good
Right?
for
No
him.
one wants mine.
I want
And
to trade livers.
I'm pretty sure you can lose like 90% of your liver and it'll
I
start
thought
to
it was
grow back with
60%,
even
but
the
I
last
could be
10%.
wrong.
I think I've heard that, yeah. Which is super weird that no other organ does that. But then also, did you guys ever play, I think, Half-Life 2? You know
Yes.
the burned corpse model in Half-Life 2?
Yes.
That's made with actual pictures of a burned dead guy.
That's fucked up.
Yep. Real pictures that were grafted onto the polygons in that video game.
They did photogrammetry of a dead guy? That's messed up.
It's kind of fucked. At least the face, from what I know. At least the face is.
Yeah, but they are immortalized in a video game.
They are indeed.
forever.
They're looking down from heaven or up from hell or crosswise from limbo, and they're like, "Oh, I have a legacy."
Oh, limbo, I get it. It always goes back to me. Hey everyone, it's me, Beau. I'm here all night. Well, not all night until we stop recording, but I'm here. But remember, I'm also here in spirit, as always. So when you go to bed tonight, just know I'm always here.
When you
Unless I die.
when you smell that funky smell, that's Beau.
Mm-hmm. When you're bricked up at night, that's Beau.
Well,
Jesus
Beau, if you do
Christ.
die, then we'll make sure to photogrammetry your face and then put it in a video game.
Please, I would love that. I would nothing more than that.
What was your other fun fact, Justin?
that was the two. The regenerating
Oh.
liver and the dead guy in Half-Life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
Great.
some fun facts. Those are fun.
Uh-huh.
I'm having fun over here. Those facts are fun. Justin's bringing it way better than that other guy who used to be
Alright.
here. What's his name?
Yeah, who's
I
that guy?
forget. Andy. I didn't want to say Andy. Yeah, Andy.
No, it's Drew.
I thought it was
It's Drew.
Oh,
Drew.
Oh, Drew McButtface.
Yep.
That was his name.
Oh yeah.
He smelled really nice though.
For a last name, Buttface. Yeah, right.
I heard he passed out while on the
you would never
toilet.
expect it.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beau, do you want to
So what was
tell us your fun
What was
facts?
yours, Beau?
Oh, okay. I actually ended up coming with two. I actually came up with one right before we started because we were talking about two. So we'll do one and one about that. Both were related to me within the past week. I guess one happened now. We're talking about the extra bones. It's not really an extra bone. We're not talking about that right now. But
Yeah, tell us
I'll
about
talk
your
about the
extra
funny
bone.
my extra bone. So it's not really an extra bone. It's actually more of a disease.
It's an extra bow.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
the
little tiny bone.
Osgood-Schlattler disease. So it's right below the knees. So like Zach, have you ever felt below your knee and felt that little have a little bump below your knee? Go ahead, feel your knee right now. Right,
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, right. So that's actually more.
Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
It's prone for men in general. So what happens?
One of mine is a little bit bigger than the other. Is that normal?
That's a tumor, sir. Check that out on the podcast.
My
God. No, so it's a disease mostly for fast growing men. That's why I asked you if you had it, for fast growing men or mostly young, preteens who are in sports. What happens is, so it's a disease, but it's more of just a bump right above your shin bone. It usually happens between the ages of between your 10 and 15 or anybody. So that's what usually, when you're growing, when you rapidly grow, you go with your growth spurt, you get that for tall people mostly. It's just a pain. It's just like, it's a painful little bump. And I hate it too. That's why I always hate it. Like people are like, oh, like as a guy who works construction and stuff like that, or any other of my merchandising jobs, like, oh, you have your knee pads to make it feel better. Even knee pads made it feel worse. It was awful because if you go taking your knee, like you have that little extra bump pressing on your knee. So even knee pads aren't doing it because it doesn't help because it just fucking hurts.
That is called your little bump. Tibial tuberosity. If you were curious, that little bump, it's called your tibial tuberosity.
I imagine it's like plantar fascia, but in your kneecap, and that sounds awful. Yeah,
well, essentially what it is I remember learning about this actually is when your tendons that attach to your tibial tuberosity, when you grow too fast, your muscles don't grow like at the same rate, and so it pulls on like your quadricep muscles, and it causes pain in your leg.
Right? Yeah, boom,
goes over your kneecap. Yeah,
yeah.
Fun fact.
So it's one of those things like, yep. I had those.
What
facts.
I learned from this is when you're young, don't play sports.
Yeah, and
not even that.
What can happen is if you, I don't think it's the exact same syndrome, but something that can happen is the same thing with your tibial tuberosity, because it's not fully fused when you're a kid. If that happens to you, there's a disorder that can happen where that straight up just pops off of your tibia. Your tendon can pull your tuberosity right off your tibia, and it's not good, but it usually happens in adolescents, specifically boys, and specifically when they do a lot of sports.
The funny thing is, my mom knew all about that too, and never did anything about her growing boy who was playing sports, who always complained about knee problems, and she never took care of it.
Thanks, Mom.
Because really, all you could do to help with is just ice your knee when you're growing up playing sports. But but you don't think that it's gonna happen, like especially again, example of a kid like me, a tall kid who's played sports who ended up growing tall and like that. Mom's not gonna think like, oh, let's go take care of your little disease. Nah, it is what it is. And then I'll do the other one too. Speaking of jokes, the funny bone. But it's not really a bone. We all know that. It's a nerve. It's a nerve. It's a little. I can't pronounce the word for some reason.
Ulnar
nerve. Ulnar. Your ulnar nerve.
Ulnar.
Bless you. Yeah. So this happened to me the other day. I forgot how to walk.
The best of us, really.
And don't
Classic.
tell me how I was just swinging my arms freely like I do after I go pee. I walk out of my bedroom, all happy that everything came out normally and everything came out good. Right?
Beau's just constantly flailing.
I straight fucking elbow my fucking doorway. I've never done that before in my life. This past this past month, I forgot how to walk, right? I punched my ceiling fan. I stuck my toes. I fucking elbow my fucking doorway. My door. And my kids are just looking at me like
get
that.
Out,
I'm like,
get out, get out.
I've been walking for 30 plus years. I forgot how to walk. So like, it was great too, because like my daughter was getting like, she's at the age too where she just runs on anything and she just fucking keeps getting hurt. So like, it was a good learning lesson. I'm like, see, even at the age of 32, you're still gonna get fucking hurt just walking.
So the mental image that I had in my head was one of those people that are really happy in a prescription commercial about like erectile dysfunction, just over exaggerated, just really happy to be alive. And then suddenly it turned to one of those commercials of like someone that can't cut fucking bread because they don't have the right knife.
So
man, I'm so happy to be alive. I don't have peed. Pop.
Look at me go. I can bone my wife. I'm gonna cut this bread. So it's a nerve. Like, so when you hit the funny bone, right? It's just like you're hitting that nerve against your elbow bone. The funny thing about that nerve, it shoots up all the way to your fingers. And fuck, does that linger too if you hit it hard enough? That nerve, a pinched nerve. Oh my God. I couldn't fucking bend my elbow. It was ridiculous how much I was like, I couldn't move my left arm. It was a 2-day excruciating pain.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Wow.
Even worse is funny because the lady I live with.
God, remember when you were younger and you could get hit in the funny bone? It would only last 2 minutes.
Yeah. The lady I live with, she has a story too. She was doing some fist pumping at a party and she brought her arm way fucking down and she hit the top of a beer bottle.
Oh.
And she said she had lingering nerve pain for a whole week.
Oh gosh.
And she goes, it was the worst thing ever. So that's why, like, if you ever hit it and like, so like, do you know when the term funny bone was actually created, right? Like the term funny bone itself, right? Calling it the funny bone when you do that.
I don't.
It was in 1911 in radio dramas starring the predecessors of the Three Stooges, who made a slapping sound and said, "You hit your funny bone, see?" And there was reckless laughter.
My God, he's joking, but he's right.
I was going to say, that sounds specific enough that it seems like you Googled it, which is in bad faith, sir.
I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about.
The term funny bone was actually the phrase coined for the funny bone was actually in the early 1800s.
Oh, wow.
It was thought to be a play on words as the humorous bone, which is located near the funny bone. So it sounds funny, humorous, right?
Ha ha ha, it's so
boom.
funny. It's the funny bone.
That was the jokes back in the 1800s. Hey, the
and they told me I was mad for making a connection between the two of them as a child.
Another fun fact too: in some cultures, the funny bone is believed to be a mystical or spiritual point.
Oh.
So, the Chinese medicine, the funny bone is thought to be connected to the heart chakra. That makes sense.
Is it because when you is a spiritual thing because when you hit it, you go, "Oh God!"
Yep, that's it.
Oh God!
That's it.
And your arm has an out of body experience. That's why it's all tingly.
Take me now.
Your only arm's going to heaven.
Jeebus, take the wheel.
So, like, the funny thing, people are like, oh, they associate it because like funny bone too, and you hit it like oh, you laugh. Like, no, that's just a natural body reaction to hit it in that, where like it's just your nerves making you feel that way. That's one reason why it became like, oh, it's you're hitting your funny bone. No, it's just because the sensation of hitting your funny bone can be startling, unexpected, which can cause like a trigger for laughing. Like, I know me personally, every time I fucking hit it, I do laugh because it's just a weird fucking feeling. I hate the feeling, but I can't help but not fucking laugh, and I hate it, so goddamn much.
Yeah, the ulnar nerve sends the feeling to the back half of your hand, so your last two fingers, and it helps us with our strong grip that we have as humans.
And we have juicy asses because we're bipedal.
That too.
True. Everyone, go ahead and admire your own ass for a second. We'll wait. We'll wait.
You can thank your two-legged walking for that.
It's true.
I think we talked about this in the other. I think we talked about this in the evolution episode.
Yes, we literally saved a clip of Andrew saying, "Oh, hot juicy asses."
Yeah.
Drew.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
that was from the Uzi episode.
Oh yeah,
because he said hot juicy asses on Frozen Iceman.
That's right.
We've officially gotten to the point where we've been doing the podcast long enough that I forgot which bits that we've done, and I've started repeating.
Listen, I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. I don't know.
But don't forget, listener, the reason why that you're dummy thick is because you're bipedal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two facts. Like the Osgood-Schlatter disease. I came up with that one as before we started when talking about extra bones. So and then the funny bone was my main one. So it's a fun fact. I was actually double prepared.
Facts, Beau.
Wait,
that's a cool fun fact.
Look at me fucking doing my homework. Something the other guy who usually here wouldn't do.
And I looked it up because I was curious, and it is the same disease, the Osgood-Schlatter. When your tibial tuberosity fully comes off, it's a more advanced version of that disease because it's caused by the same mechanism. So at least you didn't have it bad enough that your tibial tuberosity straight up just got fractured off of your bone.
Yeah.
One day.
Oh God, you see that knee just roll up on your leg.
Right off.
Why'd you put that thought in my head? Don't put that thought in my head.
Well, you're way past that point now. Your bones are the fracture that you have to worry about now is falling down and breaking your hip.
I'm so scared. I hate it because it feels like such a it's like one part of being the tall guy. Zach gets it. If falling just seems so scary.
Yeah, you got a long way to go.
Down. Yeah.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
I fell one time and it felt like I was falling forever. It was only a second, but God, it was the longest second of my life.
I had time to read a whole book.
I thought about my whole life flash before my eyes. I thought about all my regrets, my positive stuff. It was ridiculous.
I made a grilled cheese sandwich. I had time to eat it before it hit the ground.
It was delicious.
That Looney Tunes whistling sound accompanied the entire way. It was awful. Oh no, that's just tinnitus.
Oh.
Dude, I work when I work from home. I'm right next to a window, and I like to keep the window open so I can have a little breeze. Get some of the nice smells coming in from outside and all that stuff. But there are these crickets or something that are maybe cicadas, or I don't know what the fuck they are. Maybe no, katydids do a different noise, but they are just all day, just constantly making noise. To the point where it activates my tinnitus with how loud they are right next to it. I can't keep the window open.
Beau,
what's these fucking crickets?
What's the sound he's talking about?
I hope that your microphone picked that up because it just got blown out on Discord.
Oh, you'll listen to that one.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Do you guys have tinnitus?
Yes.
No, I'm active
duty service. There's barely anyone that comes out without tinnitus.
Yeah, that makes sense. At least there's a reason for you.
Gunfire
to have
and jet engines, man. It's a fucking hell of an experience. What?
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome for my service.
Yeah. Thank you.
Justin, thank you for your service.
For Zach and I, there's no reason why we should have tinnitus. It's just because we were irresponsible as youth. Although I credit it to being in band for many years, and where I sat in the band was directly in front of the trombones and the tubas, and then directly behind that was the percussion section. So I think that's why I have tinnitus.
That'll absolutely
also listen to music just way too loud.
Yeah, my problem is that I developed a very stupid habit when I was younger of listening to music while I was mowing the lawn to drown out the sound of the lawnmower.
Loud noises, canceling out loud noises. Yeah, you fought fire with that one there.
Yeah. And then after a couple of months, I was like, huh.
My ears hurt.
Yeah.
And it's messed up because you'll just be sitting there just hanging out, doing whatever, and then all of a sudden it's just like ding, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah, there's a very, I think I probably don't have it nearly as bad as a lot of people, but there is just kind of a constant little presence of like a little.
No, the presence is me. We went over that. It's me.
But then
it's just Beau whispering in your ear.
But then every once in a while something will trigger it, and the ringing will just go me, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, since I was only made aware of what was going on about 2 hours ago, and I misunderstood the assignment.
3 hours ago now.
Most of the time through. 3 hours ago. But since I misunderstood the assignment, like I did through most of my high school and partial college career.
That's why
you joined the military.
I don't think it's been brought up. It's actually interesting. So, Zach, you and Ash, you guys went to college.
Oh yeah, brag about it more.
Yeah, Beau and Andrew, you guys didn't. I only went to college for a couple of years. So I don't have a degree, but I went to college.
So do I. I went to a JZ. Does that count? So we changed the lyrics to the intro, and Beau went to junior college for a little bit.
I mean, it was art college, so it barely counts. But like,
oh my God, you art nerd. You scream art nerd. Yeah, I bet you like your art, don't you? You arter.
Yeah.
Why does arter sound like a slur?
That does sound like a slur.
I'm sorry to any artists out there if that's a slur to you guys.
But in the spirit of not understanding what the hell is going on, I went to my history predilection. And
great, so talk about pirates.
No, actually, I'm going to talk about an all-female air unit in World War II.
Ooh, tell me about it.
I bet you they all had tinnitus.
Well, that's possible, and we'll get to that. They were called the Night Witches.
Oh, I love that name.
That's sick as fuck. I want to be part of that.
That's hell yes.
So they were an all-female air unit specialized in bombing missions, and they were the brainchild of Marina Raskova, who was known as the Soviet Union's Amelia Earhart.
Did she also get eaten by coconut crabs?
No, but we'll come back to that.
Oh my God.
So the Night Witches were active from 1942 to 1945. And during that time, they dropped over 23,000 tons of bombs on Nazi targets.
Hell yeah. Bomb those Nazis.
Some badass ladies.
The night witches were created during this time due to the fact that Germany had just started to push into Russia. And if you don't know anything about Russian tactics, especially at that point in time, they were just kind of like throw as many bodies at it as possible and the problem will go away. Well, that's not a good thing. Rush. Yeah, that's not a good thing when you start running out of people. So Stalin was quoted saying, "Combat facilitated and ushered in a reluctant acceptance of women in military, based more upon practicality and necessity than for equality." You know,
yikes.
Like an asshole.
Yikes. Yeah.
But this air unit became the most decorated Soviet air unit in World War II. And they were only active for 3 years. So their tactics involved flying. So to back up a sec, they had all hand-me-down gear. Of course, you're women in the 40s, so we're not going to treat you with respect or give you anything necessary. So they were they were wearing old uniforms that were too large for, and that were men's uniforms. And they were flying a crop dusting biplane that was called the Polikarpov PO2, nicknamed the Mule for its low cost and reliability, but they also called it a coffin with wings.
Oh, God.
It was an open cockpit, 2-seated biplane made of plywood and canvas.
Oh, my God.
And in order to hit the targets that they needed to, because these planes could only fly so high, especially loaded up with bombs, which were maxed out at 2, by the way, they would fly towards their drop zone, turn off the engines so they were silent, and then drop the bombs off the side of the plane.
Holy shit.
They were called the Night Witches because the Nazis called them Nachthexen, which translates to night witches. And they called them this because the sound of the plane sounded like a broom sweeping, because the only sound was the wind after they turned the engines off.
Dude, that's so badass.
Right? And they wouldn't just do this once in a night. They employed 800... Oh, excuse me. Where the hell are my notes?
Here you go. Sorry.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So they would fly 42-person crews at night, each conducting up to 18 missions every night. They'd have to fly back and rearm and grab new bombs.
Holy crap.
So they could turn back around and drop them again. The Nazis hated them so much and feared them so much that if anyone shot down a Night Witch, that Nazi was immediately given the Iron Cross.
What a promotion. Wow.
Like, here you go. Here's your Silver Star, because these crazy women in biplanes in the 40s are dropping bombs on our targets.
Wow.
Yeah, they were absolutely crazy. And since they were flying the biplanes, they had no radios or electrical equipment, so they couldn't be detected by any sort of radio frequency gathering equipment or electronic monitoring. It was fucking magic. Suddenly, you would just hear a whooshing sound overhead and 2 bombs would get dropped on you.
It's really interesting, but what does that have to do about the body?
Well, it turns out that the human body is allergic to bombs.
Oh, that makes... well, way to connect.
They did, because of the planes and the fact that they're, flying over Russia, were fighting off frostbite constantly. If you touched the metal of the plane, your skin would immediately fuse to it. So, that's fun.
Really great when you have a bomb in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of fun. But the planes themselves, too, also flew slower than the stall speed of any Nazi plane out there. So they couldn't trail behind the biplanes and fire at them. They'd have to do strafing runs to try and hit them because the planes would stall from moving so slowly behind these biplanes.
So when they would cut the engines, like, would they just coast because the planes were so light, or would they... Wow.
Yeah, they would glide, and laden down with the 2 bombs that they had, they could only fly like 400 to 200 feet above ground, which is not a lot.
That's not very high.
That's not very high.
My drone goes 200 feet above the ground.
Yeah. In total, so their last flight was 3 days before Germany's surrender. And in total, they flew 30,000 missions, which is about 800 per pilot. They lost 30 pilots in total. And 24 of the flyers were awarded the title of hero in the Soviet Union, which made them the most decorated air regiment in the entire Soviet Air Force.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Maria Roscova died in 1943 when her plane was shot down over the front line, but her ashes were buried at the Kremlin in the very first state funeral for World War II.
Wow.
And afterwards, like the Queen of Magic, they fell into obscurity very
Because
tragically.
people don't give a shit about women.
And still don't. And I'm here to change that. Women rule. Everyone listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me right now. Next time you see a lady walking down the street, say, hey, thank you. You rule. Let's make a difference.
Say thank you to
Let's make a
say
fucking
thank you
difference.
to a woman.
All right? Yeah. Go up to them randomly. Let's go, hey, thank you. They'll love that.
Yeah, if you just hide in an alley until you see a woman walking by.
Do it especially at night. Like they love the jump
leap
scare.
out and say thank you.
Thank you for your cervix.
Here, is anything about Beau? He knows women, and they love being scared at night. Alone. I'm sorry. Don't do that to women.
Don't take this advice.
No,
this is
don't
bad.
do that. This is a tasteless joke. Please don't actually.
Disclaimer: Beau does not mean that. Please don't. We all know this is just Beau being ha-has. Don't do it.
The thoughts and opinions of Beau are not a direct representation of Get Dumped On podcast or its subsidiaries in any capacity, and we do not endorse anything that he says. But yeah,
Speaking of bombs in the human body,
that was the little thing that I was able to put together.
Thank you for that wonderful anecdote.
Yeah.
Why I had never heard of that.
Yeah.
I saw a thing a couple months ago. It's loosely related. It has to do with bombs, and it has to do with the human body. So we'll bring it all together. In
circle.
Britain,
Fun.
after World War II, they were testing nuclear weapons, but they didn't tell their soldiers what they were doing, and so they just brought them out. I don't remember if it was on boats or if it was in the middle of nowhere, but they brought them out to a testing location and then dropped a nuke basically right next to them.
Oh my god.
They told them that it was happening 10 minutes before it actually did happen. They're like, okay, so the bomb is going to go off. Don't look at it. Okay, great. Bye. And so all of these soldiers were just kind of huddled together. This absolute blast of a bomb went off, and all of them talked about how bright it was, in that it didn't matter if you were covering your hands with your eyes, or if you were covering your eyes with your hands, or covering your eyes with your arm.
I cover my hands with my eyes all the time. Take my eyes out, cover them. The light from the nuke was so bright that it was like an X-ray, and that they could see all of their bones.
Oh.
Wow.
And then basically all of them got cancer, and they never got any help from the military, and the military basically forgot about them.
Oh, hey, so it's like modern militaries now.
Yeah.
I guess some things never change.
If there's anyone from the Veterans Association, the VA, listening right now,
thank you for your service.
Fuck you.
Oh, wrong. My bad. Fuck you.
Bulma's read the room.
I learned about the atomic veterans from a record that I found randomly at a record store in Vancouver. A local band called Shanghai Dog put out an album called This Evolution, and I don't even think it's on Spotify, or at least it wasn't the last time I checked.
Wow, you're so underground.
There's a song on it. It's from the 80s. It's a really good album if you can find it. I think it's on YouTube. But there's a song on it called American Desert, and it's all about the time that the U.S. Army bombed its own GIs while doing atomic testing.
Yep.
Real not cool.
Real not cool.
Hey, let's be better. Let's be better, please.
It was completely experimental too, because it's we have no idea what this is going to do. Let's fucking find out.
Yeah.
Oh, Madame Curie discovered nuclear isotopes and died as a result of it. Yeah, sure. Let's make this into a weapon and drop it on our own people.
Yeah, I was to say, at least Marie Curie did it to herself.
Yeah, that was for the betterment of science, and I'm sure that she regrets
done to
nothing.
her by someone else.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you
Marie
for bringing
Curie.
it a full circle there, Ash. That actually roped it up rather nicely.
You're welcome. Thank you for being the most prepared member of the podcast, Justin.
I was prepared. What the hell?
Anytime. Actually, Beau, I am incredibly proud of you.
I came up with the second one on the fly, too.
Yeah.
Beau, I was obviously making a joke.
Oh, yeah. Justin, you suck, dude.
Oh.
Justin's never been prepared for anything in his life. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, the massive amounts of anxiety that I have doing this just equates for nothing. It's fine.
Don't worry. This will end up being your mom's top 3 episodes.
But for real, thanks for stepping in the late hour, Justin. I really appreciate
especially Mr.
your
COVID
service to the
boy.
podcast.
He got his COVID, huh? Yeah, maybe he should get a vaccine. Guess what?
Andrew
We're anti-vaccines in this podcast. Yeah.
No, we're not. We're very pro-vaccine on this podcast.
Boy.
We're It's a pro-vaccine.
Why don't you go get your 5th booster, huh? You COVID boy, you go and get your COVID.
Why don't you go do the thing? Yeah.
Thanks. This has been Get Dumped On, where we're fully supportive of vaccines.
I actually am not, though, because if I do, I'm dead. So I'm unintentionally anti-vax. It's for my health.
Yeah. Why don't you explain that?
So tell everybody all of your medical information.
Deficiency.
Yeah, you guys want to fight it? I can't. It's HIPAA violation. I can't tell you guys that. Let's just go with what I say. I could die if I get vaccinated. How about that? That's why I'm unintentionally or had to be on the wrong side of history.
He's completely as God intended. Wrong.
How natural. Do you want to take us out, Justin? Since you took us in?
Well, thank you guys for joining us on this little journey here on Get Dumped On, the Info Dump podcast. You can find all of these amazing, highly opinionated assholes on Instagram at Get Dumped On. And you can email at getdumpedonpod@gmail.com. Please send Beau all the pictures of your loads.
Yeah, how the fuck do you know the information? I don't even know the information. I don't even know what the email address is or the Instagram tag is.
How do you not know the email address?
Because also, it's getdumpedonpodcast@gmail.com.
Because I don't have access to either one of them, so I just don't care.
All right,
the passwords are in our Discord server.
Those are so far gone, I just don't want to look anymore.
There's a search
The info
function.
is in the computer. But as a correction, it is getdumpedonpodcast@gmail.com. Please send Beau all of your loads. Because he's not going to remember anyway.
Thank you for saying the Info Dump podcast.
Yes.
I've been a full supporter of the Info Dump podcast.
And if you're anti-vax, let me know so we can join a party and stop this vaccination from happening.
No.
We're gonna we need to start a how wrong is Beau poll on Instagram.
Go women.
I don't want to know that about our. I don't want to know that about our audience.
Well, thank you for listening, and I am horribly sorry.
About what? About what? My opinions on vaccinations and scaring women at night?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. I'm sorry.
All the Bridges. They call me Beau Bridges.
That's already a person.
Oh, they call me that now.
Okay, bye.
Ash and Zach think they're super smart because they went to college and I guess learned a bunch of stuff. And Beau and Andrew didn't go to college because we didn't want to. Fuck, whatever. What happens when you put them together? Chaos will ensure. Use your. Let's all together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump podcast.
Well, hey there, it's Andrew. I made it into the episode because I'm the editor and I can do whatever I want. Also, now you have to pay me because I'm now in the episode. Also, I don't have COVID. I was just really, really sleepy. Like really, really, really sleepy. Okay, good boy.